And now, your First Alert 5 weather.
Welcome back, everyone. Before we get to that way too warm Wednesday forecast and that toasty Thursday forecast, let's soak in some of the sights from around southern Colorado, showcasing some of our viewer photos here. This one from Carter Chavez, the iconic Red Rock formations out of Garden of the Gods. He also recently paid a visit out to Glen Erie Castle, one of my favorite spots that I was able to visit twice on an e-bike tour, which I highly recommend if you haven't seen this. Beautiful, beautiful landmass and structure out there in the Pikes Peak region. That photo also from Carter Chavez. This one from Rachel, who took a recent trip up to Cottonwood Lake. That's outside of Buena Vista. And this one from News 5 viewer Ron, who lives out in Lincoln County, east of Lyman, gets us through an antenna. That way he can see the signal here. And this was absolutely spectacular. Shot of the Milky Way taken on a clear night just a few days ago. Now, as I look ahead to Futurecast through the rest of the afternoon today, expecting pretty much a repeat performance of what we saw yesterday, back on Monday, throughout the weekend. And it's because of this ridge of high pressure to our east. It's keeping areas outside of the mountains dry and hot, whereas to the west, we're tapping into some of that monsoon moisture that's coming out of areas down to the south of us. That's going to result in some scattered thunderstorms through the afternoon and evening hours. Most of that, I think, breaks up for the mountain areas as we head towards sunset tonight. But for the plains, sweating it out again this afternoon. If you're spending time outside, make sure you're drinking plenty of fluids, using a lot of sunscreen throughout the day. Pueblo will be around 98 degrees at 3 and still in the mid 90s through 5 p.m. For the Springs, back down to the high 80s by 5. Eventually by 9 o'clock, both areas down to the 70s and low 80s. So here is that ridge that I was just talking about. This thing has pretty much been sitting across the high plains for the better part of the past week. It is going to start to weaken and shift down to the south. That allows for a cold front to move in as we head towards Friday. That cold front's going to combine with moisture from the remnants of what was once Tropical Storm Harold, as well as the monsoon. So all of the ingredients coming together to bring us the potential for some heavier rain as we head towards Friday afternoon and Friday night. So I still think Friday morning's dry before the front arrives. But once it does, this is the outlook for excessive rainfall. It's a slight risk, so 2 out of 4 when we break it down by categories. And it does include Fort Collins, Denver, the Springs, Teller County. In these areas, we could see rain heavy enough to trigger some of that flash flooding. So something that we'll certainly be keeping a close eye on. Daytime highs today eventually topping out near triple digits in La Junta, 98 for Pueblo, 95 in Canyon City. In the Springs, not just 1, but 2 more days in the 90s. Finally, as we head towards Friday, we'll see a break in the heat as a late week cold front arrives. Looks like for now it comes in during the afternoon hours. So I think the second half of the day into the nighttime hours, that's when we trigger some of that heavy rainfall. And we'll see a repeat of that Saturday afternoon into Saturday night. Still some lingering storms Sunday into Monday. For Pueblo, I've got dry skies and hot highs Wednesday to Thursday. Still 90 Friday, as I think the front doesn't come in here till maybe the evening hours. But look at Saturday's forecast. Heavy rain and a high of 85. For Canyon City, 90s through Thursday. Maybe an isolated storm west of I-25 tomorrow, but a better chance of that afternoon convection. The rain, the thunderstorms Friday and Saturday, and still some thunderstorms continuing into early next week. Woodland Park, spotty storms tomorrow, heavier rain from Friday into the weekend. Stay with us while more coming up right after this.